The prophecy of Osee. Osee, or Hosea, whose name signifies a savior, was the first of the order of time among those who are commonly called the lesser prophets, because their prophecies are short. He prophesied in the kingdom of Israel, that is, of the 10 tribes, about the same time that Isaiah prophesied in the kingdom of Judah. Chapter 1. The word of the Lord that came to Osee the son of Beri in the days of Ozias, Jotham, Acham, and Ezekias, kings of Judah, and in the days of Jeroboam the son of Joash, king of Israel, the beginning of the Lord's speaking by Osee. And the Lord said to Osee, Go, take thee a wife of fornications, and have of her children of fornications, for the land by fornication shall depart from the Lord. So he went and took Gomer, the daughter of Debalaim, and she conceived and bore him a son. And the Lord said to him, Call his name Jezreel, for yet a little while, and I will visit the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu, and I will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel. And in the day I will break in the pieces the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel. And she conceived again and bore a daughter. And he said to him, Call her name Without Mercy, for I will not add any more to have mercy on the house of Israel, but I will utterly forget them. And I will have mercy on the house of Judah, and I will save them by the Lord their God. And I will not save them by the bow, nor by the sword, nor by battle, nor by horses, nor by horsemen. And she weaned her that was called Without Mercy, and she conceived and bore a son. And he said, Call his name Not My People, for you are not my people, and I will not be yours. And the number of children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, that is without measure, and shall not be numbered. And it shall be in the place where it shall be said of them, You are not my people. It shall be said of them, Ye are the sons of the living God. And the children of Judah and the children of Israel shall be gathered together, and they shall appoint themselves one head, and shall come up out of the land, for great is the day of Jezreel. Chapter 2. Say ye to your brethren, You are my people, and your sister, thou hast obtained mercy. Judge your mother, judge her, because she is not my wife, and I am not her husband. Let her put away her fornications from her face, and her adulteries from between her breasts, lest I strip her naked and set her as in the day when she was born, and I will make her as a wilderness, and will set her as a land that none can pass through, and will kill her with drought. And I will not have mercy on her children, for they are the children of fornications, for their mother hath committed fornication. She that conceived them is covered with shame. For she said, I will go after my lovers, and give me my bread, and my water, my wool, and my flax, my oil, and my drink. Wherefore, behold, I will hedge up thy way with fornications, and will stop it up with a wall. And she shall not find her path. And she shall follow after her lovers, and shall not overtake them. And she shall seek them, and shall not find. And she shall say, I will go and return to my first husband, because it was better with me then than now. And she did not know that I gave her corn and wine and oil, and multiplied her silver and gold, which they have used in the service of Baal. Therefore I will return, and take away my corn in its seasons, and my wine in its season. I will set at liberty my wool, and my flax which covered her disgrace. And now I will lay open her folly in the eyes of her lovers, and no man shall deliver her out of my hand. And I will cause all her mirth to cease, her solemnities, her new moons, her Sabbath, and all her festival times. And I will destroy her vines and her fig trees, of which she said, These are my rewards which my lovers have given me. And I will make her as a forest, and the beasts of the field shall devour her. And I will visit upon her the days of Baalim, to whom she burnt incense, and decked herself out with her earrings, and with her jewels, and went after her lovers, and forgot me, saith the Lord. Therefore, behold, I will allure her, and will lead her into the wilderness, and I will speak to her heart, and I will give her vine dressers out of the same place, in the valley of Achor, for opening up hope, and she shall sing there according to the days of her youth, and according to the days of her coming up from the land of Egypt. And it shall be in that day, saith the Lord, that she shall call me my husband's, and she shall call no more Baali. And I will take away the names of Baalim out of her mouth, and she shall no more remember their name. And in that day I will make a covenant with them, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the air, and the creeping things of the earth, and I will destroy the bow and the sword and war out of the land, and I will make them sleep secure. And I will espouse thee for me forever, and I will espouse thee to me in justice and judgment, and in mercy, and in commiseration, and I will espouse thee to me in the faith. Thou shalt know that I am the Lord. And it shall come to pass in that day, I will hear her, saith the Lord. I will hear the heavens, and they shall hear the earth. And the earth shall hear the corn and the wine and the oil, and these shall hear Jezreel. And I will sow her unto me in the earth, and I will have mercy on her that was without mercy. And I will say to that which was not my people, Thou art my people. And they shall say, Thou art my God. Chapter 3. And the Lord said to me, Go yet again, and love a woman beloved of her friend, and an adulteress, as the Lord loveth the children of Israel, and they look to strange gods, and love the husks of the grapes. And I brought her to me for 15 pieces of silver, and for a core of barley, and for half a core of barley. And I said to her, Thou shalt wait for me many days, and thou shalt play the harlot, and thou shalt be no man's, and I also will wait for thee. For the children of Israel shall set many days without king, and without a prince, and without sacrifice, and without altar, and without ephod, and without teraphim. And after this the children of Israel shall return, and shall seek the Lord their God, and David their king, and they shall fear the Lord and his goodness in the last days. Chapter 4. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord shall enter into judgment with his inhabitants of the land. For there is no truth, and there is no mercy, and there is no knowledge of God in the land. Cursing and lying and killing and theft and adultery have overflowed, and blood hath touched blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and every one that dwelleth in it shall languish with the beasts of the field, and with the fowl of the air. Yea, the fish of the sea shall be gathered together. But yet let not any man judge, and let not a man be rebuked, for thy people are as that contradict the priest. And thou shalt fall to a day, and the prophecy shall also fall to thee in the night. I have made thy mother to be silent. My people have been silent because they had no knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will reject thee, that thou shalt not do the office of priesthood to me, and thou hast forgotten the law of thy Lord. I also will forget thy children. According to the multitude of them, so have they sinned against me. I will change their glory to shame, and they shall eat the sins of my people, and shall lift up their souls to their iniquity. And there shall be like people like priests. There shall be like people like priests, and I will visit their ways upon them, and I will repay them their devices. And they shall eat and shall not be filled. They have committed fornication, and have not ceased, because they have forsaken the Lord, in not observing his law. Fornication and wine and drunkenness take away the understanding. My people have consulted their stocks, and their staff hath declared unto them, for the spirit of fornication hath deceived them, and they have committed fornication against their God. And they offered sacrifice upon the tops of the mountains, and burnt incense upon the hills, under the oak, and the poplar, and the turpentine tree, because the shadow thereof was good. Therefore shall your daughters commit fornication, and your spouses shall be adulteresses. I will not visit upon your daughters when they shall commit fornication, and upon your spouses when they shall commit adultery, because themselves converse with harlots, and offer sacrifices with the effeminate. And the people that doth not understand shall be beaten. If thou play the harlot, O Israel, at least let not Judah offend. And go ye not into Galgal, and come not up into Bethaven, and do not swear, the Lord liveth. For Israel hath gone astray, like a wanton heifer. Now will the Lord feed them, as a lamb in a spacious place. Ephraim is a partaker with idols, let him alone. Their banquet is separated, they have gone astray by fornication. They that should have protected them loved to bring shame upon them. The wind hath bound them up in the wings, and they shall be confounded because of their sacrifices. Chapter 5. Hear ye this, O priests, and hearken. O ye house of Israel, and give ear, O house of the king, for there is a judgment against you, because you have been a snare to them whom you should have watched over, and a net spread upon Thabor. And you have turned aside victims into the depth, and I am the teacher of them all. I know Ephraim, and Israel is not hid from me. For now Ephraim hath committed fornication, Israel is defiled. They will not set their thoughts to the return of their God, for the spirit of fornication is their midst, and they have not known the Lord. And the pride of Israel shall answer in his face, and Israel and Ephraim shall fall in their iniquity. Judah also shall fall with them. With their flocks and with their herds they shall go to seek the Lord, and shall not find him. He is withdrawn from them. They have transgressed against the Lord, for they have begotten children that are strangers. Now shall a month devour them with their portions. Blow ye the cornet in Gabah, and trumpet in Ramah. Howl ye to Bethaven, behind thy back, O Benjamin. Ephraim shall be a desolation in the day of rebuke. Among the tribes of Israel I have shown that which shall surely be. The princes of Judah are become as they have taken up the bound. I will pour out my wrath upon them like water. Ephraim is under oppression and broken in judgment, because he began to go after filthiness. And I will be like the moth of Ephraim, and like rottenness in the house of Judah. And Ephraim saw his sickness, and Judah his band. And Ephraim went to the Assyrian, and sent to the avenging king, and he shall not be able to heal you, neither shall he be able to take off the band from you. For I will be like a lioness to Ephraim, and like a lion's whelp to the house of Judah. I will catch and go. I will take away, and there is none that can rescue. I will go and return to my place, until you are consumed, and seek my face. Chapter 6. In their affliction they will rise up early to me. Come, and let us return to the Lord, for he hath taken us, and we will and he will heal us, and we will strike, and he will cure us, and he will revive us after 2 days. On the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. We shall know, and we shall follow on, that we may know the Lord. He going forth and is prepared as the morning light, and he will come to us as early and the later rain to the earth. What shall I do to thee, O Ephraim? What shall I do to thee, O Judah? Your mercy is as a morning cloud, and as the dew that goeth away in the morning. For this reason I have hewn them by the prophets. I have slain them by the words of thy mouth, and thy judgment shall go forth as a light. For I desired mercy and not sacrifice, and the knowledge of God more than Holocaust. But they, like Adam, have transgressed the covenant. There have they dwelt treacherously against me. Gilad is a city of workers of idols, supplanted with blood. And like the jaws of highway robbers, they conspire with the priests, who murder in the way those that pass out of Sikkim, for they have wrought wickedness. I have seen the horrible thing in the house of Israel, the fornications of Ephraim there. Israel is defiled. And thou also, O Judah, set thee a harvest, and I shall bring back the captivity of my people. Chapter 7. When I would have healed Israel, the iniquity of Ephraim was discovered, and the wickedness of Samaria. For they have committed falsehood, and the thief is come in to steal, the robber is without. And lest they may say in their hearts that I remember all their wickedness, their own devices now have beset them about. They have been done before my face. They have made the king glad with their wickedness, and the princes with their lies. They are all adulterers like an oven heated by the baker. The city rested a little from the mingling of the leaven till the whole was leavened. The day of our king, the princes began to be mad with wine. He stretched out his hand with scorners, because they have applied their heart like an oven. When he laid snares on them, he slept all night baking them. In the morning he himself was heated as a flaming fire. They were all heated like an oven, and have devoured their judges. All their kings have fallen. There is none amongst them that calleth unto me. Ephraim himself is mixed among the nations. Ephraim is become as bread baked under the ashes, that is not turned. Strangers have devoured his strength, and he knew it not. Yea, gray hairs also spread about upon him, and he is ignorant of it. And the pride of Israel shall be humbled before his face, and they have not returned to the Lord their God, nor have they sought him in all these. And Ephraim is become as a dove that is decoyed, not having a heart. They called upon Egypt, they went to the Assyrians, and when they shall go, I will spread my net upon them. I will bring them down as the fowl of the air. I will strike them as the congregation hath heard. Woe to them, for they have departed from me. They shall be wasted because they have transgressed against me. And I redeemed them, and they have spoken lies against me. And they have not cried to me with their heart, but they have howled in their beds. They have thought upon wheat and wine. They have departed from me. And I have chastised them, and strengthened their arms, and they have imagined evil against me. They returned that they might be without yoke. They became like a deceitful bow. Their princes shall fall by the sword, for the rage of their tongue. This is their derision in the land of Egypt. Chapter 8. Let there be a trumpet in thy throat, like the eagle upon the house of the Lord, because they have transgressed my covenant, and they have violated my law. They shall call upon me, O my God. We, Israel, know thee. Israel hath cast off the thing that is good. The enemy shall pursue him. They have reigned, but not by me. They have been princes, and I knew not. Of the silver and their gold they have made idols to themselves, that they might perish. Thy calf, O Samaria, is cast off. My wrath is kindled against them. How long will they be incapable of being cleansed? For itself also is the invention of Israel. A workman made it, and it is no God, for the calf of Samaria shall be turned to spider webs. For they shall sow wind and reap a whirlwind. There is no standing stalk in it. The bud shall yield no meal, and if it should yield, strangers shall eat it. Israel is swallowed up. Now is he become among the nations like an unclean vessel. For they are gone up to Assyria. A wild ass alone by himself, Ephraim hath given gifts to his lovers. But even though they shall have hired the nations, now will I gather them together, and they shall rest a while from the burden of the king and the princes, because Ephraim hath made many altars to sin. Altars are become to him unto sin. I shall write to him my manifold laws, which have been accounted as foreign. They shall offer victims. They shall sacrifice flesh and shall eat it, and the Lord will not receive them. Now will he remember their iniquity, and will visit their sins. They shall return to Egypt, and Israel hath forgotten his Maker, and hath built temples, and Judah hath built many fenced cities. And I will set fire upon the cities, and it shall devour the houses thereof. Chapter 9. Rejoice not, O Israel, rejoice not as the nations do, for thou hast committed fornication against thy God. Thou hast loved the reward upon every corn floor. The floor of the winepress shall not feed them, and the wine shall deceive them. They shall not dwell in the Lord's land. Ephraim is returned to Egypt, and hath eaten unclean things among the Assyrians. They shall not offer wine to the Lord, neither shall they please him. Their sacrifices shall be like the bread of mourners. All that shall eat it shall be defiled, and their bread is life for their soul. It shall not enter into the house of the Lord. What will you do in the solemn day, in the day of the feast of the Lord? For behold, they have gone because of destruction. Egypt shall gather them together. Memphis shall bury them. Nettles shall inherit their beloved silver. The burr shall be in their tabernacles. The days of visitation are come. The days of repaying are come. Know ye, O Israel, that the prophet was foolish. The spiritual man was mad. For the multitude of the iniquity, and the multitude of thy madness, the watchman of Ephraim was with my God. The prophet is become a snare of ruin upon all the ways. Madness is in the house of God. They have sinned deeply, as in the days of Gibeah. He will remember their iniquity, and will visit their sin. I found Israel like grapes in the desert. I saw their fathers like the first fruits of the fig tree and the top thereof. But they went to the Baal-Phegor, and alienated themselves to that confusion, and became abominable, as those things were, which they loved. As for Ephraim, their glory hath flown away like a bird from the birth, and from the womb, and from the conception, and from the womb, and from the conception, and though they should bring up their children, I will make them without children among men. Yea, and woe to them, when I shall depart from them. Ephraim, as I saw, was a Tyre founded in beauty, and Ephraim shall bring out its children to the murderer. Give them, O Lord. What wilt thou give them? Give them a womb without children, and dry breasts. All their wickedness is in Goggle. For there I hated them, for the wickedness of their devices. I will cast them forth out of my house. I will love them no more. All their princes are revolters. Ephraim is struck, their root is dried up, and they shall yield no fruit. And if they should have issue, I will slay the best beloved fruit of their womb. My God will cast them away, because they hearken not to him, and they shall be wanderers among the nations. Chapter 10. Israel, a vine full of branches, the fruit is agreeable to it. According to the multitude of the fruit, he hath multiplied altars. According to the plenty of his land, he hath abounded with idols. Their heart is divided, now they shall perish. He shall break down their idols. He shall destroy their altars. For now they say, we have no king, because we fear not the Lord, and what shall a king do to us? You speak words of an unprofitable vision, and you shall make a covenant, and judgment shall spring up as bitterness in the furrows of the field. The inhabitants of Samaria have worshipped the kind of Bethaven, for the people thereof have mourned over it, and the wardens of its temple that rejoiced over it in its glory, because it departed from it. For itself also is carried into Assyria, a present to the avenging king. Shame shall fall upon Ephraim, and Israel shall be confounded in his own will. Samaria hath made her king to pass as froth upon the face of the water. In the high places of the idol, the sin of Israel shall be destroyed. The burr and the thistle shall grow up over their altars. And they shall say to the morning mountains, cover us, and to the hills, fall upon us. From the days of Gabah, Israel hath sinned, and there stood the battle of Gabah against the children of iniquity shall not overtake them. According to my desires I will chastise them, and the nations shall be gathered together against them. When they shall be chastised for their two iniquities. Ephraim is a heifer, taught to love to tread out corn, but I passed over upon the beauty of her neck. I will ride upon Ephraim. Judah shall plow. Jacob shall break the furrows for himself. Sow for yourselves in justice, and reap in the mouth of mercy. Break up your fallow ground, but the time to seek the Lord is, when he shall come, that shall teach you justice. You have plowed wickedness, you have reaped iniquity, you have eaten the fruit of lying, because thou hast trusted in the ways, in the multitude of thy strong ones. A tumult shall arise among thy people, and all thy fortresses shall be destroyed as Salmanah was destroyed, by the house of him that judged Baal in the day of battle, the mother being dashed in pieces upon her children. So hath Baal done to you, because of the evil of your iniquities. Chapter 11. As the morning passeth, so hath the king of Israel passed away. Because Israel was a child, and I loved him, and I called my son out of Egypt. As they called them, they went away before their face. They offered victims to Baalim, and sacrificed to idols. And I was like a foster father to Ephraim. I carried them in my arms, and they knew not that I healed them. I will draw them with the cords of Adam, and with the bands of love, and I will be to them as one taketh off the yoke on their jaws, and I put his meat to him that he might eat. He shall not return to the land of Egypt, but the Assyrians shall be his king, because they would not be converted. The sword hath begun in his cities, and it shall consume his chosen men, and shall devour their heads. And my people shall long for my return. But a yoke shall be put upon them together, which shall not be taken off. How shall I deal with thee, O Ephraim? Shall I protect thee, O Israel? How shall I make thee as Adamah? Shall I set thee as Seboim? My heart is turned within me. My repentance is stirred up. I will not execute the fierceness of my wrath. I will not return to destroy Ephraim, because I am God, and not man, the Holy One in the midst of thee. And I will not enter into the city. They shall walk after the Lord. He shall roar as a lion, because he shall roar, and the children of the sea shall fear. And they shall fly away like a bird out of Egypt, and like a dove out of the land of the Assyrians. And I will place them in their own houses, said the Lord. Ephraim has compassed me about with denials, and the house of Israel with deceit. But Judah went down as a witness with God, and is faithful with the saints. Chapter 12. Ephraim feedeth on the wind, and followeth the burning heat. All the day long he multiplied lies and desolation. And he hath made covenant with the Assyrians, and carried oil into Egypt. Therefore there is a judgment of the Lord with Judah, and a visitation for Jacob. He will render to him according to his ways, and according to his devices. In the womb he supplanted his brother, and by his strength he has success with an angel. And he prevailed over the angel, and was strengthened. He wept, and made supplication to him. He found him in Bethel, and there he spoke with us. Even the Lord God of hosts, the Lord is his memorial. Therefore, turn thou to thy God. Keep mercy and judgment, and hope in thy God always. He is like Canaan. There is a deceitful balance in his hand. He hath loved oppression. And Ephraim said, But yet I am become rich. I have found me an idol. All my labors shall not find me the iniquity I have committed. And I, that am the Lord thy God from the land of Egypt, will yet cause thee to dwell in tabernacles, as in the days of the feast. And I have spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions, and I have used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. If Galaad be an idol, then in vain there they in Gilgal offer sacrifices with bullocks. For their altars also are heaps in the furrows of the field. Jacob fled into the country of Syria, and Israel served for a wife, and was a keeper for a wife. But the Lord by the prophet brought Israel out of Egypt, and he was preserved by a prophet. Ephraim hath provoked me to wrath, and his bitterness and his blood shall come upon him, and his Lord will render his reproach unto him. Chapter 13. When Ephraim spoke, a horror seized Israel, and he sinned in Baal and died. And now they have sinned more and more, and they have made to themselves a molten thing of their silver, as the likeness of idols, and the whole is the work of craftsmen. And these, they say, sacrifice men, and adore the calves. Therefore they shall be as a morning cloud, and the early dew that passeth away, and the dust that is driven with the whirlwind out of the floor, and as the smoke out of the chimney. But I am the Lord thy God, from the land of Egypt, and thou that shalt know no God but me, and there is no Savior besides me. I knew thee in the desert, in the land of the wilderness. According to their pastures they were filled, and were made full, and they lifted up their heart, and have forgotten me. And I will be to them as a lioness, as a leopard, in the way of the Assyrians. I will meet them as a bear that is robbed of her whelps, and I will rend the inner parts of their liver, and I will devour them. There is them there as a lion. The beast of the field shall tear them. Destruction is thine own, O Israel. Thy help is only in me. Where is thy king? Now especially let him save thee in all the cities, and thy judges of whom thou saidst, Give me kings and princes. I will give thee a king in my wrath, and will take him away in my indignation. The iniquity of Ephraim is bound up, his sin is hidden. The sorrows of a woman in labor shall come upon him. He is an unwise son. For now he shall not stand in the breach of the children. I will deliver them out of the hand of death. I will redeem them from death. O death, I will be thy death. O hell, I will be thy bite. Comfort is hidden from my eyes. Because he shall make a separation between brothers. The Lord will bring a burning wind that shall rise up from the desert, and it shall dry up his springs, and shall make his fountain desolate, and he shall carry off the treasure for every desirable vessel. Chapter 14. Let Samaria perish, because she has stirred up her God to bitterness. Let them perish by the sword. Let their little ones be dashed, and let women with children be ripped up. Return, O Israel, to the Lord thy God, for thou hast fallen down by thy iniquity. Take with that your words, and return to the Lord, and say to him, Take away all the iniquity, and receive the goods, and we will render the calves of our lips. Assyria shall not save us. We will not ride upon horses, neither will we say any more, The works of our hands are our gods. For thou wilt have mercy in the fatherless that is in thee. I will hear their breaches. I will love them freely, for my wrath is turned away from them. I will be as the dew. Israel shall spring as the lily, and his root shall shoot forth. As that of Lebanon. The branches shall spread, and his glory shall be as an olive tree, and his smell as that of Lebanon. They shall be converted that sit under its shadow. They shall live upon wheat, and they shall blossom as a vine. His memorial shall be as the wine of Lebanon. Ephraim shall say, What have I to do with any more with idols? I will hear him, and I will make him flourish like a green fir tree. For me its fruit is thy fruit found. Who is wise, and he shall understand these things? Prudent, and he shall know these things. For the ways of the Lord are right, and the just shall walk in them, but the transgressors shall fall in them. The word of the Lord.